As if today wasn't already basura, we are finding out that Usher and Justin Bieber got into it at the Gold Party this weekend. Yes, the Gold Party that Beyoncé and Jay-Z host every year after the Oscars.
And then out of nowhere came these I don't know where they came from. And I sat next to them, and the child next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy?
DL Hughley is stepping out and talking loud about those Oscars after parties, and this hits right after buzz around Jay and Beyonce's event started blowing up. He's saying this wasn't just some normal VIP hangout, not just flashing lights and famous faces, but something way deeper, and honestly, way more unsettling. DL's been clear for years that he never really rolled with Jay-Z and Beyonce like that, but now people are side-eyeing that claim a little harder. He says he was never part of that tight inner circle, never played along or bowed down, and that's exactly why he's not moving scared right now. While others in Hollywood stay quiet, locked behind NDAs and polished statements, DL is out here speaking freely, saying what he wants without checking with anyone first. That kind of freedom, it's rare in that world, and he's using it to put things out in the open. And here's where it gets even more intense. When those allegations first popped up involving Jay-Z and that Jane Doe lawsuit tied to Diddy, DL didn't jump to defend anyone. He made it clear he wasn't just going to accept a clean image based on a PR response, especially after seeing how things played out before. He pointed out how Diddy publicly denied everything, even saying he never touched Cassie. Then that hotel footage came out and everything shifted fast. So now DL is basically saying, don't be too quick to believe anything at face value because there could be more out there. According to him, if history repeats itself, there might be evidence involving Jay-Z that hasn't surfaced yet, and that possibility alone has people paying close attention. But DL didn't stop there, not even close. Right after Jay-Z's name started circulating in those files, DL dropped a video that had people seriously shaking. It showed Mexican model Gabriella Rico Himenez outside a luxury hotel in Monterey, visibly distressed, yelling and claiming she saw something truly disturbing at a high-profile party, one that was rumored to be an Oscars after party. DL added fuel to it with his caption, writing, "And they label them crazy." That alone had people questioning everything. But what really made this situation feel darker is what came next. Gabriella suddenly vanished after speaking out. No updates, no clear answers, just gone, and her whereabouts still unknown, which only raised more concern around the whole situation. Now shifting back to those so-called elite parties, there's even more talk surrounding this year's Oscars. The after-party hosted by Beyoncé and Jay-Z wasn't just your typical celebrity gathering. At least, that's what some insiders are claiming. There were whispers about strange vibes inside, with a few eyewitnesses even describing parts of it as ritualistic, which instantly got people talking. Every year, the Carters throw this event at the Chateau Marmont in West Hollywood, known as the Gold Party, and it's one of the most exclusive invites you can get in the industry. What stands out is how they skip the actual award show, yet never miss hosting this private event, which just adds to the mystery around it all. And getting in isn't simple at all. There are strict rules that guests have to follow, no exceptions. First rule, no phones allowed at all, no pictures, no recordings, nothing that could document what's happening inside. Second, the guest list is super tight, carefully selected, and if you're not on it, you're not getting anywhere near that door. You don't just pull up to this kind of party like it's nothing. No random plus ones, no last minute invites, none of that. If you're not somebody with real status, you're not getting through that door. Every guest is screened, approved, and once you're inside, there's this unspoken pressure like you owe something just for being there. And this year's guest list was stacked heavy. We're talking Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, Michael B. Jordan, Timothée Chalamet, Kylie Jenner, Justin and Hailey Bieber, and Usher all in the same room. On the surface, it sounds like the ultimate VIP night, right?
I think Jay-Z's tone was exactly, but see, I saw Puffy say the same, and then a video came out.
Yeah.
I didn't go to none of those parties.
No?
No, it never appealed to me. I'm not saying that everybody who did go was wrong, but I'm glad I ain't got a lawyer asking me to get my story together.
Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose. It's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody. You know, he signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when, you know, he did his first album, my dad's album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. And we're gonna go full crazy.
New York City. and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
But behind all that glamour, things reportedly took a sharp turn. The biggest moment people can't stop talking about is what allegedly went down between Justin Bieber and Usher. According to TMZ, Usher approached Justin with what insiders described as intense energy, and it didn't stay calm for long. The situation escalated fast, voices raised, tension thick, and some reports even claimed it got physical, which made the whole room uncomfortable. Now, if you know their history, this hits different. Justin didn't just rise to fame out of nowhere, and over the years, there have been serious claims floating around about how he was introduced into certain circles. Some allegations suggest Usher played a role in connecting Justin with Diddy, and what followed has been described by some as deeply troubling. Those claims say the experience left a lasting impact on Justin, adding a whole new layer to that confrontation. Ever since that whole Diddy situation blew up, Justin has been moving very differently, cutting people off left and right. He unfollowed Usher on Instagram, turned down performing at Usher's 2024 Super Bowl halftime show, and even distanced himself from his longtime manager, Scooter Braun. On top of that, he sold his music catalog and started separating from almost everyone tied to his early career. And people are starting to question why. Because those figures weren't just mentors guiding him, they were deeply involved in his journey and knew what was going on around him. So when Usher approached Justin at Jay-Z and Beyoncé's Oscars after party with that intense energy, it's not shocking that Justin reacted strongly. If there's unresolved tension there, that moment could have easily set things off. But this story doesn't stop there, because you can't talk about the Gold Party without bringing up the Carters' past connections to Diddy. These days, Jay-Z and Beyoncé are reportedly downplaying how close they were to him, saying they weren't really friends like that. But people online are quick to point out that old photos, events, and shared moments still exist, and those connections are hard to ignore. And then there's the bigger picture surrounding Diddy himself. His parties have been surrounded by controversy, talked about in multiple lawsuits and public claims. One lawsuit filed by a man named Joseph Zaro included serious allegations that also mentioned Jay-Z and Beyoncé, adding even more attention to their names and pulling them deeper into the conversation. Zaro claimed his drink was tampered with and that he was taken against his will to one of Diddy's parties, where he says he was assaulted and publicly humiliated in front of other guests. He also alleged that Jay-Z and Beyoncé were present during the incident. According to his account, he even recalled Beyoncé reacting in shock, saying, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a sea mask standing here in front of me?" That statement alone had people seriously questioning what was happening in that room. But then things take an even heavier turn. Some insiders who claimed they were once close to the Carters are now speaking out, saying Jay-Z and Beyoncé didn't just attend these kinds of events, they allegedly hosted their own gatherings too. One of the names that keeps coming up is former NFL player Larry Johnson, who had ties to Jay-Z in the past and even modeled for his Rocawear brand. Now, Larry is making claims about what he says he witnessed. He described being invited to a late-night party hosted by the Carters back in the early 2000s in Colorado. According to him, the environment raised serious concerns, especially when he noticed there were individuals present who appeared to be underage, which immediately made the situation feel inappropriate and alarming. And then there's the moment that really unsettled people. Larry claims Beyoncé made a comment after seeing those young attendees that came off as deeply uncomfortable, adding another layer of concern to an already troubling situation. These kinds of claims haven't just appeared overnight either. They've been following the Carters for years. People keep bringing up rumors about strange parties, secret rituals, and all kinds of unsettling behavior, and the stories just don't seem to go away. It's like every time things quiet down, something new pops up and pulls them right back into the spotlight. Now circling back to that Oscars Gold Party.
This is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother.
Now, I did a Rocawear photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the winter time of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house. And we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to have been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults, which I could respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young I don't know where they came from. for a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild. Like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, you know, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this, because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving.
Things get even more intense. There are viral blind items making rounds online, claiming the night starts off looking like a normal celebrity event, nothing unusual at first, but then around 2 a.m., everything supposedly shifts into something way more secretive and controlled. According to these blind items, the setting changes with dramatic details like masked guests, themed rooms, and an atmosphere that feels completely different from the earlier vibe. Some claims even mention unusual activities and the presence of substances that most people wouldn't recognize, all tied to this idea of testing loyalty and influence within elite circles. There's also that long-running theory people keep bringing up about the film Eyes Wide Shut, with some saying it mirrors how powerful groups operate behind closed doors. The idea is that these exclusive gatherings are about influence, control, and maintaining status at the top. And while Diddy's parties have been heavily talked about in recent years, some believe this kind of culture didn't start with him at all. The suggestion is that powerful circles have been hosting secretive events like this for a long time, and for those at the top, it's seen as part of the lifestyle. To really understand the atmosphere people are describing, many say you have to look closely at the circles Jay-Z and Beyoncé are connected to. They're also known to be closely connected to Marina Abramovich, who some people online even label as a Hollywood priestess, which already raises eyebrows. Abramovich is a performance artist famous for pushing creative limits and stepping into controversial territory with her work. Back in 2016, her name started trending heavily after leaked emails from the Podesta files went public, and suddenly people began linking her to something called spirit cooking. For those unfamiliar, that's a concept she explored in her art, involving symbolic performances and unusual materials, which quickly became a hot topic online. So where do the Carters fit into all this? That's where things get interesting. Jay-Z and Beyoncé aren't just casual supporters, they've actually worked with Abramovich directly. In 2013, Jay-Z brought her in to collaborate on his Picasso Baby project, and she's also been spotted upstate at events connected to them, which only fueled more discussion. Now here's what the blind items are claiming. Allegedly, Abramovich's influence can be seen in the overall vibe of the Gold Party, from the performance-style elements to the dramatic presentation and that blurred line between art and something more mysterious. Still, it's important to remember this is all speculation, but the way people are connecting the dots has definitely made this party seem like way more than just a typical celebrity night. And honestly, when you stack all of this together, it starts to paint a picture that people can't ignore. The secrecy, the strict rules, the powerful guest list, and all these repeated claims, it makes people question what's really going on behind those closed doors. Because think about it. Why enforce a no-phone rule that's strict unless there's something you don't want getting out? No pictures, no videos, no proof, just memories controlled by the people in the room. That alone has people raising eyebrows and asking serious questions. Then you add in the timing of everything, the lawsuits, the resurfaced connections, the stories from insiders, and suddenly this isn't just gossip anymore. It feels way bigger. It's like different pieces from completely separate situations are starting to line up in a way that's hard to brush off. And what really keeps this conversation alive is the fact that nobody at that level is stepping in to fully address it head on. There's statements, sure, but nothing that completely shuts it all down, and that silence only makes people more curious. At the end of the day, whether all of this is coincidence, exaggeration, or something deeper, one thing is clear. These parties have a reputation that keeps growing, and the more people talk, the more intense the spotlight gets. And now people are starting to look at everything with a different lens, connecting dots they never paid attention to before. Old interviews, past appearances, even small moments are being rewatched and picked apart like never before. Some fans are pointing out how certain celebrities who were once always around suddenly distanced themselves, while others stayed quiet and kept their heads down. That shift alone has people wondering what changed behind the scenes. Then there's the pattern people keep talking about, how stories only seem to come out years later, once relationships fall apart or when legal trouble starts building up. It makes people question how much stays hidden until the timing is right. At the same time, there are still plenty of people pushing back, saying a lot of these claims are exaggerated or taken out of context. And that's where the divide really shows. Some see a bigger hidden story, while others see rumors spiraling out of control. But regardless of what side people are on, one thing is certain: the spotlight isn't fading anytime soon. The more names get pulled into the conversation, the more attention it gets. And right now, all eyes are locked in waiting to see what comes out next. Instead, it feels like these powerful circles are moving in ways most people can't even fully see or understand. And the only ones really speaking up about it are figures like DL, Kat, and Dave. People who've been close enough to witness things firsthand and aren't afraid to talk about it. But now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think all of this is just wild conspiracy talk getting out of control? Or could there actually be something deeper and more unsettling tied to Jay-Z and Beyoncé's gold party? And what about that situation between Justin Bieber and Usher? Was that just a random moment that got blown out of proportion? Or is it suspicious that it happened at that exact party, hosted by the same people who had long-standing ties to Diddy? There are a lot of questions, and people are definitely paying attention now. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates like this.